I'm Joe and welcome back to my channel to learn more science with me. Earlier this year, I was fortunate enough to get a place on the plane from Ant and Dec's Saturday night takeaway. I flew on one of the most eco-friendly planes. I did a little video about the Airbus A350-1000, but I was left with a few questions that needed answers. So I teamed up with two aircraft engineers who have a lot of experience and knowledge about this topic, how we can fly greener, how we can fly while being sustainable at the same time. So we put together a presentation together to answer my questions, which may also be useful for you to understand a bit more about this topic. So I encourage you to watch till the end. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. All right, so this is a bit about the people who are talking with us and giving us most of our information. Paul, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello Joe, hello everyone there. Yes, I am Paul, as introduced by Joe, thank you. I am a licensed aircraft engineer with 12 years of experience in the aviation industry. I've worked on commercial planes, such as those you go on holiday on, and also smaller private business jets.
Okay, and Chatra, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, thank you, Joe. My name is Chatura Gunaratna, and I have the similar background from Paul, and I've worked few companies from Sri Lankan Airlines, Qatar Airways. Currently, I'm working for authority in Sri Lankan civil aviation, which my part of will be like looking and doing compliance monitoring of aviation industry and personnel in the industry. Thanks.
Okay, so I can see you've raised your hand, Chatra. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, sorry.
That's okay. This stuff does happen a lot, so please bear with. What is green aviation? Paul, I'm going to ask you to answer this question. Feel free to send this question to Chatra if you want him to answer it.
Sure. Okay. Thanks, Joe. So green aviation, it's a big topic. It's a bit of a concept really around the aviation industry and its impact on the environment. And ideally, to achieve green aviation would be to reduce the impact of the industry to zero, with carbon emissions being zero, or we can take a series of steps and innovations to reduce the carbon footprint and achieve a net zero. And initially, one of the best ways of doing that is by flying more efficient planes. Shatura, anything else you might add?
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Yeah, that's exactly right. So we need to do a bit of responsible aviation. So that's the right way of doing it. So make sure that it doesn't disturb the planet while we use the mode of transportation as airline. So, yeah.
That was a great introduction to green aviation. You guys are doing really well with this. What are the benefits of green aviation? Chatra, I would like you to answer this question. Please feel free to send it to Paul if you want.
Yeah, thank you. Commercial aviation has been the popular mode of transportation for civil aviation movements around the world. So the benefit of being green aviation is like we protect the planet in which that every movement we make or carbon emission will be reduced. And then, so we can say that everybody flying in around the globe or in international, we protect the planet while we actually engage in our day-to-day needs of life. So benefits of green aviation is good for industry, airline aspect, and also good for the customers who buy the tickets, and because they can say we are responsible for our own planet, and we are doing a great job in terms of using green aviation implemented to the industry.
What are some examples of green aviation? Paul, would you like to answer this question?
Yes, sure, Joe. I'll try my best. Um, with respect to the slide you're currently seeing, we're looking at the aircraft and its design, and namely some features of the design that improve the fuel efficiency. So the use of modern materials, lighter materials, will reduce drag, um, allow the plane to fly further for longer using less fuel. Um, Also, innovations in terms of the wing design, the shape of the wing. Traditional aircraft made from aluminium metal uh, had a certain shaped wing because of that material, but now we're moving more towards composites, carbon fibers, materials such as those. You can form those materials into really any shape you like, and you can essentially recreate the wing of a bird. And the wing of a bird, as in nature, is a very perfect thing. And the closer we can get to that, the more efficient planes will be. And that's one of the best examples. Uh, as well, some of the steps towards green aviation here are using sustainable energy sources for the ground support equipment that's used at airports all over the world, and also passengers who transit through airports. They could be using self-service check-ins and paperless boarding passes. Those being other ways to reduce carbon footprint and support green aviation.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What are the types of fuels that we already use in aviation and on planes? Chatter, I would like you to answer this question if you would like to.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. Yeah, once again, when we come back to the slideshow, Jet A1 is the popular fuel that are used by all the commercial jet, the bigger aircraft. And then you have all these 100 low lead and 180 octane fuel, which is used in general aviation on piston engine aircraft and all the other smaller aircraft, which is not jet airlines. So if you think about the comparison of each other, uh, Jet A1 is much more, little greener compared to other three because octane and the value of all the others are having more emission, like carbon monoxide and all the other gases, which is not healthy. But anyway, we cannot neglect the amount of footprint that Jet A1 will add because in this world there will be a lot more jet engines flying compared to the piston engines, where you'll be having a considerable amount of carbon footprint. So currently, these are what we are using at the minute. So we should talk about more green fuel in next slideshow with Paul.
What are some of the examples of greener fuels that we can use on planes? Paul, could you please answer this?
Yes, I'll try my best. So, of the list that you can see, hydrogen being at the top, hydrogen is a possible alternative fuel that you can imagine would be a greener fuel than the current Jet A1 that we've just seen. And the reason being is that the byproduct of burning hydrogen is actually just water. So you don't have the carbon emissions that you would get when you burn the fuel, the conventional fuel. However, the limitations around the use of hydrogen are to do with storing it as a fuel. It would require large tanks in order to do that, and currently aircraft, their current engines and their current design don't facilitate the storage of hydrogen in that way. So that's a work in progress. Uh, Algae, the second one down, as a fuel, um, is also being looked at. However, in production, they're seeing that it's very energy intensive to be able to create it, to create the biofuel. And they they are showing that actually it takes more energy to produce it than you will get from it. So it's not necessarily a good option to start to mass produce and scale up. And then more promising are the biofuels listed, which are starting now to be introduced into civil aviation with test flights and certain airlines running maybe one of their engines on certain routes and trialing that. And also companies doing investment to scale up the production of those fuels. So yeah, there are some certainly a lot of interest in greener fuels, and it's going to be more popular in the future.
Okay, so here we can say that hydrogen. We can say that's in future progress. Like in, for example, cars, they're planning to use hydrogen, but that's in the future. And Chatur here has raised his hand, and he wants to say a bit something. Would you like to say now?
Yeah, that's right, Joe. Basically, the very first implementation will be the biofuel straight away. Now,
Yeah.
currently, there are jet engines that are actually in practice running during the operation. Maybe it's called a test flight, maybe it's called like a phase by phase implementation. For example, 4 engines aircraft can run one engine on biofuel. So that doesn't have any bigger safety effects because they still have 3 engines. Currently, they are taking flights on those scales to see the practical feasibility. Hydrogen will be a whole set of design which is going to be need for the systems, infrastructure, and of doing engineering as well. So basically, the hydrogen will be the much more advanced than using the biofuel, I would say. So that will take some time, even though the research have already started by the research gentlemen on their table. It'll certainly take some time, I believe.
Okay. And yeah, so that's about the greener fuels that we have. Chatur, would you like to explain a bit more about the efficient planes that are in operation right now? Chatur?
Lost him.
Yeah, sorry. Looking on the slide, I can see the most famous aircraft for fuel efficient currently flying with their design is on the slide. So basically, A350, which Joe, you took a flight to US, I believe, isn't it? Yeah. Talking about that, it has the design features implemented on the wing, and the wing designs are like a much more uh, lightweight composite material. And then it also designed in their design features like using windlets, advanced windlet, which actually reduce the drags like induced drag, parasitic drag, and form drags, and all these kind of different type of drags are there. So what happening actually is when you reduce drag, your aircraft will have more lift to generate, and then the aircraft can fly much faster. So we you will have faster taking you from one place to the other, and at the same time burn less fuel. 787, same concept pretty much. The difference is it actually introduced much more enhancement of electrical powered equipment. For example, they have electrical driven hydraulics pump, electrical driven generators. They are much less weight compared to other fully mechanical generators and pumps. So that also reduced the weight. Having every features as the top, like A350 has. So they have been very smart cutting down their weight. So because of that, there'll be less fuel burn. So basically, the amount of footprint will be much reduced. and I'm always in favor of 787. I believe it has less carbon footprint, even by a little level, compared to 350. But if you take a flight in 350, that is more comfortable, and that will definitely have you a nice flight. So basically, these are the two aircrafts currently operating, taking most of the flights now, taking people from one place to the other with most eco-friendly design features implemented. So this is done by the aircraft designers, but they are still using the typical jet A1 fuel. So next enhancement will be changing the fuel type, which we discussed previously, which is biofuel and using hydrogen instead of jet A1. So in future, there will be more aircraft flying with biofuel, same types, and with hydrogen with new design. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I think that's the end. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening to. Because these aircraft engineers, you guys were at work, aren't you guys? And you guys have taken a lot of time to help me answer these questions. So thank you very much. And if we've come up with this, so any questions that you have, put them in the comments below, and then in a different video, we'll give the answers to the questions to the most appropriate ones. Thank you very much for listening. Yeah, thank you, Chatter and Paul, as well.
Thank you, Joe, and we are
Yes,
always there
thank you
to
very
get you back.
much. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone,
thanks.
for watching this episode. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time for some more episodes about science with me. Bye.